Bonjour, Anishna, Dyami Thomas, Indigenous Cause, Andewajing, as Guasca Jamaica, Bogritiko, Ni Taljibwam. Hello, everyone. My name is Dyami Thomas. I am an enrolled Klamath member from Southern Oregon. I'm also Leech Lake Ojibwe from Northern Minnesota. I am a certified suicide prevention peer counselor. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that has made this happen. I know there's always a lot of behind the scenes work that goes unnoticed that the people don't see. So first of all, thank you to all of you. And then thank you everyone for joining today. And a huge shout out to Mary for putting up with all my delayed responses. I don't know if you guys saw on my social media, I left my Facebook, Instagram, all social media for a couple months. I didn't delete it, but I left it for a couple months. And also my phone, so I'd always be looking at my phone every now and then, and I'd see like 4 missed calls from her, a bunch of emails, and I'm like, oh man, like this makes me look so bad. But thank you for putting up with that. Appreciate you. But just to start off a little bit about myself, I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. My grandmother is a tribal historian for the Klamath tribes. I'm enrolled Klamath, but I feel more attached to my Leech Lake side of Minnesota. And yeah, this past year has been insane for a lot of people. I did make a huge trip across the country and with 2 other people, and it was insane. One of them was my girlfriend and one of them was my best friend, Nathan from the Northwest. And what we did was we went to as many indigenous communities and reservations as we possibly could across the country. And there was so many people that were just like on board. And then there was a handful of people that were just like, no, you can't do that. COVID is happening. But what we did is the majority of places we went to, we brought our own portable speaker, little stage, little setup, mask, gloves, everything was socially distanced. But virtual does the trick. It really does. But it's that impact that you feel physically and that energy and that response to let the people know you really are there for them that really impacts the people. So Mary, I know you guys try to make it happen to make a physical appearance, but like I said, virtual is honestly something we just have to, I don't want to say get used to because I don't want to put it out there, but something we definitely should not take for granted. But this past November was a 30-day straight road trip across Indian country. And some places we were in like 3 different indigenous communities in one day. And what I've come to find out is across the country, indigenous people they're dealing with the same things, just in different places. Some places more remote than others, some places that aren't federally recognized, and some that are. Some people that have their communities back, and then others that need a little extra help. And so we built a lot of great relationships with a lot of indigenous communities. But one thing that really stood out to me is that I'm just one person, and I'm not here to save anybody's life, but I'm here to try to, not even hopefully, but here to inspire at least one person. Everywhere I go, my job, my duty, I try to make for myself is to inspire at least one person, because if I could do that, and that one person can bring anything back to their community or their school or their household or whatever it may be, then I've done my job. So I've come to the conclusion that not every single person that has a mental illness or that is depressed or thinking suicidal thoughts can be saved. And I found that out honestly through the struggle of thinking, oh man, if I would have just talked to this person, or if I would have just answered their call or opened that message or whatever. And I beat myself up for years doing that. But I've realized it's out of my hands for a lot of people, but it's what the person's going through and what they surround themselves with and how they open up to other people is the outcome of whether they stay here or whether they don't. But I do want to practice something with you guys, and this is a little technique I want to show you guys right off the bat. And this is something I don't want you to do just one time. I want you to practice this every single day. This is a technique that you could practice to start out your morning, a technique that you could do on your lunch breaks, a technique you could do when you're sad, lonely, sad, whatever it is. And this is also a technique I want you to do right before you go to bed, because I promise you, it's not if, but it's when you practice this, you slowly but surely start to become more aware of who you are, your self-worth, and knowing what exactly you're capable of doing. So if everyone can close your eyes with me. And I want you guys to really listen what I'm about to say, because what I'm about to say, this is what I want you to practice. With your eyes closed, I want you to envision yourself in a mirror. And in this mirror, I don't want you to see yourself as you are right now. I want you to see yourself at your most beautiful, your most vulnerable, your most appreciated, your most comfortable, whatever it may be. Envision that, picture that right now in the mirror. And get down to detail. How your hair is, what your face looks like, what you're wearing, what you're surrounded by, whether you're outside, inside, you're at ceremony, you're at the sweat, you're at the powwow, you're at school, you're at work, you're by yourself, you're in the woods, you're on the mountain, whatever it may be, picture that. And now I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, and I want you to repeat after me with your eyes closed, but don't repeat after me because I say so. Repeat after me and truly understand the significance behind every single word, every single letter that leaves the tip of your tongue. Here we go. Repeat after me. I am strong. I am powerful. I am beautiful. One more time, keep your eyes closed. This time around, really get in tune with it. The more you say it, the more it'll start to become true, because it is. This is your reality. Keep your eyes closed, repeat after me with more purpose, with more significance, with more understanding. Say it again. I am strong. I am powerful. I am beautiful. Now slowly open up your eyes. Whether you want to believe it or not, and I know not every single person is going to do this or not going to practice it. A week from now, some of you, or maybe most of you, may forget this. But for those that really do want to work on themselves, for those that really want to lift yourself up, or for those of you that want to practice this and share it with somebody else that is struggling, do that. Those three simple sayings, I am strong, I am powerful, I am beautiful, can either change and or save a life. But you guys really have to understand that. And you guys really have to really just get into the habit of practice. It's just like any other sport, basketball, soccer, football, whatever it may be. You see people on the field, in the gym, constantly working on their craft. It's the same thing with mental illness. It's the same thing with being positive. You practice that positivity. You practice surrounding yourself with beautiful, uplifting, positive, energetic people. And vice versa. The people that are always so negative, the people that are always down on themselves, the people that always have something to say, or the people that are belittling people, they surround themselves with that. They surround themselves with the type of people that they do not want to become. But usually the people that you do not want to become, and the people that annoy you the most, and the most negative people, is comfortable. That's a comfortable situation, whether that's your friend group, whether that's your surroundings, whether it's what everybody else is doing. That's super comfortable. But something that can be uncomfortable is change. And I want you guys to realize this. In order to make changes, you have to start making changes in your life. When you want change in the world, when you want change in your life, and when you want change in your community, it starts with you. What are you going to start changing so everything around you starts changing for the better? And ask yourself that, because every single community is different, yet we're one people. We may go through different things, we may go through similar things, but you guys have to understand, at the end of the day, and I know you guys heard this saying before, we are one people. It takes a village, it takes a community to raise one child. How you are and what you've been through in your life, whether that's smoking, drinking, gang banging, uneducated or educated, and not smoking and walking the red road, whatever it may be, somewhere along your life, you chose that because you were influenced by something. Either you have a household that is super toxic, and all people do is smoke and drink and party, pass out, and get on you in negative ways. And you will do one of two things. You will either follow those footsteps and use that as an excuse to also just be like what you see in your household, or you'll do the exact opposite. You see that and you want nothing to do with that, so you grow up to be the exact opposite. And I want you guys to understand this. It's easier said than done. It is way easier said than done. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a household where drugs and alcohol wasn't always surrounding me. There was a person in my household that did drink a lot, but there was a time in their life when they said enough is enough, so they ended that about 9 years ago. And I know that's powerful, and it's a hard thing to do. And that's a lot of demons, a lot of bad spirits that you have to fight to put that down, put the bottle down. But I wouldn't say I had it easy, but I know a lot of people out there, they have it rough. That's all they see every single day, 24 hours a day, not just in their household, but outside their community. And it's not just the drugs and alcohol, but when you go to school and you get bullied, when you go to the store and you get discriminated against, any of that, it all adds up and it can literally eat you alive. And I'm going to tell you a couple things. When people judge you, whether it's what you look like, whether it's they judge you about your lifestyle, whatever it may be, you have to understand that that judging comes from a place where they've been judged themselves all their lives. Because that is taught, racism is taught, jealousy, that is something you should not hold in your heart, and that is something you should not acknowledge. All the BS, all the naysaying, all the negativity, you have to practice blocking that out. And when you can practice blocking negativity out, the good things start to flood in. It starts to replace all those empty spots, what you've been weeding out of your life. And I'm going to tell you guys right now too, this is especially for the youth, but the adults also. I just want, all right, say in the room right now, and we split the room straight down the middle. On this side of the room, you have 4 people. And on this side of the room, you have 1 person. Here's the difference. These 4 people, they're negative. It's full of drama, gang banging, smoking, drinking, baby mama, baby daddy drama. They're all broke, all of them, on this side of the line. On this side of the line, you don't even know this person. These 4 people, you know, like the back of your hand, you grew up with them. You know what they're about to say, you know what they're about to do, you know their favorite color, their favorite food, everything. But this 1 person, you don't know who they are. They're a complete stranger. And this stranger, this is the difference. This stranger has everything going for them. They're on a pathway at 110%, like moving like a freight train, unstoppable because they know their worth. This person is going out there and they're educating themselves. This 1 person is trying to make a difference in their lives, and they put all the BS aside and they're just moving straight down like tunnel vision, down a tunnel vision road. But these 4 people you surround yourself with, these 4 people you hang around. These 4 people may be your brother, your sister, your cousins, your best friends, or people you may not even like, but you hang around them anyways because other people are hanging around them. Sometimes this situation is super uncomfortable because when you try to make change, the universe works in an insane way, and creator works in insane way also. When you try to do good in your life, he sends obstacles and he sends tasks and he sends things in your way, not to stop you, but to build you up and make you stronger. But what a lot of people think is when you're moving forward and you're trying to make change and you're trying to get away from this group right here, or trying to bring some positivity back to them, when you're trying to make change and you move forward and something comes and it tries to stop you, a lot of people automatically think, oh, this is it, I'm going to give up. This is it, my mind's going crazy. I have these depressing thoughts. Nobody else is following me and I have nobody else to follow. I just paid the new way and this is hard. Like I should just stop, right? Little do you know, you might be halfway there, 75% the way there, or 1 more step, you might make it. But a lot of people like to give up just because they hurt just a little bit. You guys have to understand this. When creator sends obstacles in front of your way, take it as he's making you stronger. He's putting lessons in front of you for you to learn from. And this can come with anything. Last year, I lost 4 friends in a row. 3 were to suicide, and 1 was my best friend who was murdered. Last year, I took a little break. And I always thought in the back of my head what my mom told me. She's like, surround yourself most who you want to be like. Whoever you want to be or whatever you want to do in life, surround yourself with those type of people. And I'm like, well, my friends are kind of funny, you know, they're cool, they like to play sports, whatever. But on the side, they like to drink, they like to smoke, they like to party, and they like to like run the streets at night, right? And so in the back of my head, I thought, well, I'm not going to do that, so I'll never get caught up with that. But little did I know, just because I didn't smoke, just because I didn't drink or gangbang or any of that, you can catch other people's karma and you can catch other people's negative energy just being around them. I had 2 of my friends commit suicide in back-to-back days. And the following week, my cousin committed suicide in prison. And then just about a week and a half or so, almost 2 weeks later, my best friend was murdered on a beach, all within the same month. 4 people really close to me. In the back of my head, I was just thinking, I'm numb. I don't know what to do, because a lot of these people I talked to were like either at my sessions or they messaged me or whatever it may be, and I could have done something to either save their life or stop this or invite them so we can talk or whatever, right? And I beat myself up for a long time thinking I could have changed this. But you guys have to understand, at the end of the day, whether you're trying to help somebody and you're blue in the face and you spend 24 hours every second of the day with them, sometimes it's not up to you as an individual to save that person's life. And I want you guys to really understand this. Sometimes it's not up to you to save someone's life. There's so many people I've talked to in my life that have either wanted to harm themselves, or that just wanted to end it all, or they felt like my message wasn't getting across to them. And I want you guys to understand this. When I was in a dark place in my life about 2.5 or 3 years ago, it was the person I least expected to help me out and to help me get back on my feet and start thinking straight again. It was the person I least expected to ever help me that helped me. So I want you guys to hear this out. Sometimes what you need to do is the most uncomfortable thing. When you're going through a tough time, when you have those dark thoughts, communication is key. You have to be willing to open up. And maybe it's not specifically what is going on in your life. You don't have to get down to details if it's really that uncomfortable, but at least let somebody know you're going through something. Because honestly, from experience, that's the one thing that saved my life and why I'm able to share like part of my stories and a little bit of knowledge with you all, is because I felt uncomfortable opening up, but I knew I had to do it because something was not right in my head. My spirit, my mind, everything was broken. When I tried to pray to Creator, I felt like it was getting blocked. But that whole time, I wasn't thinking of my family. I wasn't thinking of my girlfriend. I wasn't thinking of my dogs, none of that. All I was thinking, selfish thoughts like, man, it would be so easy if I just left right now. It would be so much easier and I'd have a weight lifted off my shoulders if I just ended it all right now. But I'm going to tell you, the one thing that truly saved my life that day was opening up and letting somebody know I'm not feeling good. I need someone to talk to. I need someone by my side, at least for about a week or a couple of weeks, like please, because I'm hurting inside. And I want you all to know too, if you constantly check up on people, do it in the most respectful way. And you guys have to understand, nothing is ever your fault. And don't ever think you say the wrong things, because we don't know what will trigger people. It could be the littlest thing that triggers somebody, but I want you guys to know this. When you're there for someone, listen first. Listen to everything, whatever they have to tell you. And don't interrupt them, and don't give advice when they're still talking or anything, because there was things I wanted to tell people and I wanted to keep going, but like I've been cut off before. And a lot of people, they think like, okay, they're not listening, right? We're giving 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. That's to listen first and then speak second. So really listen to details and pay attention to these signs that people put out there, whether it's on social media, like, I can't do this anymore, or whether it's a text like, hey, what are you doing? Simple as that. I want you guys to know 3 things right now. You can be there for somebody, you can be there for yourself, but you have to take care of yourself first. You have to. That is the most important thing. I've gone out in this country and I've been to so many different reservations, so many indigenous communities in Canada and the US. And the one thing that really hurt me and the one thing that really got me to my limit a few years ago was not taking care of myself. I was trying to help everybody else out and I was trying to uplift and motivate and just drop so much knowledge on people, and I was not taking care of myself. I was just absorbing all this negative energy and trying to do the most. And then I wasn't even working out. I wasn't praying. I wasn't speaking my language anymore. I wasn't doing anything to just work on myself. And that right there is the one thing that really had a huge impact in almost just wiping me out. So take care of yourself, whether it's waking up in the morning, saying, I am strong, I am powerful, I'm beautiful, drinking water, washing your face, getting a breath of fresh air outside. Do that for yourself. Something else I want to show you guys, and this with your eyes closed, and you don't have to say anything this time, but I really want you guys to envision this. So this is another technique, and this is for anybody that has ever felt lost, anybody that's ever felt down, distracted, distressed, whatever it may be. But this is also something I really want you to bring back to whoever it is that you feel needs this. So if everyone can close your eyes one more time with me. I want you to envision yourself in a tunnel. In this tunnel, I want you to make it super, super dark in there, almost pitch black. At the very end of this tunnel, and this tunnel is so long you can just barely see it, at the very end is a ball of light. And it's just barely visible at the end. You know it's bright and it's way down there, but you're so far away, it feels like it's just so small. And then on the left and the right sides of this tunnel, I want you to envision open doors. Now, envision yourself taking one step forward and you look left into one of these open doors. Inside that open door is dark, is heavy, and you get a little curious and you take a step in. You take a couple steps in that door. And then that door closes behind you and it disappears. And now you're in this dark, heavy place and it feels uncomfortable and you don't want to be in there anymore. Now envision yourself back in that tunnel, looking at that ball of light. What these open doors represent, leading all the way up to the ball of light, and there's thousands, tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of these open doors all over the place, straight down the tunnel. What these open doors represent is negativity, obstacles, drama, naysayers, haters, whatever you want to call it. Anything stopping you from reaching and achieving that ball of light, that's what those open doors represent. Now, what this ball of light represents at the end of the tunnel, at the very, very end of that distance, is positivity, your aspirations, motivation, peace, love, equality, everything you have ever sacrificed for, everything you have ever wished for. That's what that ball of light is. But you're at the other end and you're wondering how you get there. How you get there when all these open doors are there to stop you, all these obstacles, all these challenges. I want you to envision yourself taking a couple steps forward, and then you get into a pace of walking. And I want you to visualize the doors on the left and on the right. They start to close as you start to move forward and they start to disappear. And as those doors start to disappear, you start to gain speed. You start to gain strength. You become more aware of who you are. You're more aware of your surroundings. You have more self-love. You become stronger and stronger with every single foot that touches the ground. And then you begin to jog, a slow jog, and you begin to sprint. You begin to run so fast that that ball of light is coming at you so quickly. And these doors are disappearing like nothing. And I want you to visualize you running straight into that ball of light and becoming one with it. Because if you can visualize yourself running straight into this light, you have already done it. You've already made it. The only thing you have to do is the footwork, because when you visualize it, it will become a reality. Now slowly open up your eyes. Practice these things. Really visualize these things. Get down to detail what it is that you want in your life, what it is where you want to see your family, where it is that you want to see yourself. Whatever it may be, whatever the things that are holding you back, start weeding them out. If it's an illness that it is distracting you, or if it's financial, or if it's a relationship, or whatever it may be, there's no more excuses, especially to start off the new year. We can't live on repeat. We can't use 2020 as an excuse of why we are in the situation that we are today. You guys have to constantly fight. And it's a battle, and it's easier said than done. When you want to achieve great things in your life, there are going to be great things that try to stop you. That could be your best friend, your mother, your sister, a complete stranger. That could be your bank account in the negatives. That can be foreclosure, bankruptcy, you getting fired, you failing some classes, deaths in your family, whatever it may be. Things are going to try to stop you every single day, but it's up to you to decide, what are you going to do with these certain situations? Are you just going to give up and you're just going to be like a majority of the people on earth, and you're just like, man, this wasn't meant for me, I'll leave it up to somebody else? Or are you going to be the one that pushes forward and becomes stronger and stronger with every single step you take? And then you bring that knowledge, that power back to your community, or at least for yourself, to build each other up. It's up to you. And let me tell you, it's easier said than done. Like I said at the very beginning, a lot of us, we're not going to take a lot of these things I said to the heart. We're not going to practice these things. And that's just the harsh reality, because a good majority of people, they don't practice these things every single day. Some people wing it. Some people say they have good luck or whatever it may be. But as long as you can notice what it is holding you back in your life and what it is that's harming your people, and you start to build and you start to work on yourself so you can start helping other people, that is honestly the best thing you can do for yourself and your people. And I'm going to share one more thing with you guys. I know I don't have a whole lot of time left, but I do want to say this. Think about this, especially for the people that feel like they want to harm themselves, or for the people that are really feeling depressed or down on themselves. Statistics show when a person takes their own life, it affects on average 115 people. And people that feel the loneliest or not loved or not supported, that includes them too. When someone says, oh, I have nobody and nobody loves me, nobody cares or whatever, on average, 115 people are affected when that person passes on from suicide. Now let this sink in for a second, because those people that say they have nobody that loved them, that's 115 people that have to think about that for the rest of their lives. And some is even more, the numbers are even greater, right? Especially when we have social media and the word gets out like wildfire, right? I'm gonna build a quick timeline. And I say quick because I know we're in different time zones, and I know the time, I time myself, I put a timer, because a lot of times I go over my time and then I feel bad. So here we go, a quick timeline. This is 2021 right here on this timeline. All right, so that's forward for you guys, and then this is back. Okay, so right here on this timeline, here we are 2021, right here is 500 years ago. Right here is 500 years into the future. If we go back 500 years ago on this timeline, indigenous people were living not perfectly, but we were living before the year 1492 with our language, fluent in our languages, fluent in our ceremonies, fluent in our traditional culture, value, whatever you want to call it. We were living off the land in peace, in harmony, our traditional foods, our traditional ways, traditional stories, everything. Everything was just intact and everybody was one. And that was just 500 years ago. But when you fast forward just a little bit on that timeline, boom, 1492 hits. Everybody knows the story. Colonizers come over, they rape, they murder, they massacre. We're killed off by the millions by diseases, beheaded. You have the California Gold Rush, you have the Trail of Tears, you have Wounded Knee, you have all of this, not just in America, but Canada and Mexico and all of it combined. And then you fast forward just a little bit more, and then you have indigenous people segregated and put onto reservations. You have indigenous youth stripped from their villages, stripped from their territories, put into boarding schools, stripped from their languages, told if you speak another language, another word of your native tongue, something unthinkable, unimaginable will happen to them. They were given a Western name, they had their hair chopped off, horrible things happen. Here's what a lot of people don't understand, but probably some of you know. When our ancestors were put into reservations and we're getting commodities or rations, a lot of people ask me, why do you think a lot of young people like to harm themselves, or they think suicidal thoughts, or they go through with it? Honestly, I really am a huge believer in historical trauma. The things our ancestors went through, we feel now today. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. When we're given rations and we're given commodities, it wasn't just rice, beans, and the dry food and stuff to make fry bread at Bannock with. It wasn't just that stuff. We're given a substance, and that substance was alcohol and liquor, because the Western people knew if they couldn't physically wipe us out with diseases and murder us fast enough, why don't we give indigenous people a substance so eventually they will kill themselves off and we don't even have to worry about it anymore? And you guys have to understand this. This is working to this day. It hasn't even been 500 years and it is working. And I want you guys to really realize this. The substance is spreading like wildfire. A lot of cases I hear when I go to these reservations across the country, a lot of indigenous youth that have taken their own lives were intoxicated. They're on opioids, they're on meth, they're on coke, whatever, they were impaired. When you feel like you can't already think straight and you feel a disconnection from Creator and yourself and your spirit, imagine what impairing your mind does with these drugs and this alcohol. It's times 1,000. How do you expect to think straight and you go to numb your pain or whatever it may be, or fit in, or whatever it is? When you do that, you literally killing yourself. You are literally disconnecting and cutting all relationships you have with Creator, your culture, and your ancestors. Your ancestors did not fight, sacrifice, and pray for you to give up on your life today. And I want you guys to really understand this. The BS and the trauma and all that they went through on this timeline, this little short period of time, you feel that. It's when you recognize that pain and you recognize where this pain is coming from, then you can start to eliminate it. But understand the history, and that's just a quick little timeline. When you understand the history, it won't repeat itself. But for now, until we get the word out, until you take it upon yourself to start making changes in your community, it will continue to repeat yourself. I've taken it upon myself to not stand back and go forth and just really be out there, because I couldn't help watching my friends commit suicide, or all my aunties and uncles and whoever it is die from drug overdoses or alcohol poisoning or whatever it may be. A lot of my family, they die at such a young age, and it's like it's so normalized in my community. But that's not how it should be. That's not how it should be at all. When you have traditional medicines, when you have traditional people and fluent speakers in your ceremonies and dances, that is what is going to revitalize our people. That is something you cannot take away from us. Something that was taken away from us, something that we were disconnected from. But when you bring it back, that's when you start revitalizing your people. And as corny, as cheesy as that may sound, that is what is needed to make sure and to ensure that we are here for another 500 years. Because just as it took almost 500 years to wipe us out, and believe it or not, it's going to take another 500 years to bring us back. And we could do it quicker if everybody's on board, but the harsh reality is not everybody's going to be on board. A lot of people, the good majority of people that smoke, that drink, that have addictions and all of this, they will come up with excuses, or they will think they can't, because when you impair yourself and you're already disconnected and you've been doing that, it's damn near impossible to get somebody to stop. But as long as you work on yourself and you build a new path for other people to follow, you're making change already. But I want you guys to have faith in yourself. And I'm not up here just preaching, saying this, doing that. I'm 27 years old, and what I'm about to say, I'm not saying look up to me or put me on a pedestal or any of that. I'm going to say what I'm about to say because I'm just trying to show you it is possible. I'm 27 years old. I have never drank. I have never smoked in my life or never popped pills or any of that. And an elder taught me that a long time ago. There was like a 7-year-old elder, and he was like, I've never drank, I've never smoked. Like, I'm just showing you it's possible. And I was young. I was a teenager when I heard that. I was like 13 or 14. I was just like, wow, all my friends are already drinking and smoking. And this guy's working his way up to like 100 years old and he's never drank or smoked. It is possible. And just because you drink or smoke, you're doing that right now, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to judge anyone. What I'm saying is lead by example, because the steps you are taking into the future, there's 10 more following you. They want to be just like you. They want to follow your every single footstep, the way you treat people, the way you say things, if you're practicing your languages, if you're educating yourself, if you're treating your elders right, if you're even talking to your elders, the people you're helping and you're helping yourself, people are watching at every single step. And I'm not saying be a perfect person. I'm just saying learn from your mistakes and keep on that right path of positivity, because that is the key to the next 500 years on that timeline. But just so I don't go over, I know it's been about 40 minutes. If anyone has any questions or anything you'd like to share or anything, it's much appreciated. But I do want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for attending this. You are all here for a reason, every single one of us, and continue to do amazing work. Whether you think it's going on unnoticed or not, it's really not. Remember, eyeballs are on you 24/7. The pressure is on, but it's definitely doable. So thank you guys, and Chi Miigwech. And I honestly thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Miigwech.